Horus, how are you, good buddy?
Actually, pretty bad. How are you?
Pretty good. What? Tell people what happened.
Oh, I went to SKBC first time. Amazing event, fantastic, and I definitely got a concussion.
Oh.
So yeah, that was a little rough. It was easily the most actually accidental, like nobody was doing anything wrong kind of concussion I've ever had, and the least bad one. But that's why I'm wearing sunglasses, because even staring at the screen hurts my eyes. So yeah.
If only somebody at the event within 10 minutes of it happening would have suggested that you go to a doctor.
I don't know that it would have changed the fact that I had a concussion. No. But I did go to the doctor. I got my brain scan. I just need everybody to know my skull is beautiful. It's very cool to see it from the inside. And there's nothing, all of the structures are correct. They did note that I have all of these like little nodules in my skin. They're like, you should get that looked at. But I've actually pointed that out to all of my doctors many times, and they're very unimpressed and don't care about it at all. So
fair enough.
It's just these little skin things.
I got one left of my giving you shit. I wanted to save it for being live.
I don't think that one counts. That one is for the show. Still got two.
I was saving it. I think it counts. I think it counts. We're going to do a SKBC wrap-up on this show as well, but before we do, I want to say that this episode is sponsored by Ritter Outfitters. Ritter Outfitters is seeking to fill the gap of a high-end sword with the ability to last. Both lightweight and durable, it was made with warlords in mind. A sword you can use to pell, spar, and compete without worrying about it blowing out in a month. The sword you reach for. Don't be a quitter. Use a Ritter. And
that's the sword that we were using, right?
Yes. Ritter Outfitters gave me and Horus a sword each to use at SKBC. And I'll let you go first. What do you think?
Okay, so I fought a bunch of two-stick too, so I actually was using two swords at SKBC, and like one of them was it's like an old Warlord, what's that called?
Excalibur?
Yeah, like one of those. And it had been rebladed, so it wasn't like perfectly balanced or anything, and I really liked using that. It was a really nice sword. In fact, the one that, of the three that we made with Glass, and Glass made all of them. But he kept stealing the one that I was using, and I liked using that. And I'm going to be real, I actually like using the Ritter sword better. So
hell yeah.
That was the favorite sword that I used. I actually, using it, I realized my handles should be a little bit smaller.
Okay.
It's actually more comfortable to hold like that. For people who have like bigger hands than me, like maybe that's a little bit too small of a handle. But if you have my size hands, then that is actually the perfect girth of a sword, I guess. And that's not the right way to put it. But I really liked that sword. It was well balanced too, and it didn't. A lot of people in Amtgard weight their swords like all the weights in the handle, so that like you can. It's not like, you know what? If that's how you want to do it, that's how you want to do it. But that's incorrect. It's not how a sword's supposed to work. When you swing the sword, it's supposed to have its own momentum and do the thing, so that you're not working against the sword to make it go to a place. And the swords are weighted correctly, so I would not say perfect sword, but like I don't think I've ever bought a sword off the rack that was like that good.
Yes,
so, very impressed.
That was my feedback too. Like I've made some swords, cutting some corners and using olive oil and whatnot, and that I have preferred, but off the rack, off of any from any retailer. This is definitely the best Amtgard sword I've ever used. The handle was a touch small for me because I do have giant mitts. So I felt a little fatigue in my hand towards the end of the event. Easy fix. I can put, I can wrap some more material around it to make it a better size for me. Otherwise, I love the balance of it. I love the feel of it. I think the part in the most, this came in less than 7 ounces, which I thought was great, again, for an off-the-rack sword. The part that I was the most impressed with was, like, I hit a lot of people all of SKBC. I used it the Sunday prior at Amtgard, and then I used it at fighting practice on Tuesday. This sword feels brand new. Like, despite the fact that I was hitting, this is a Rum Warden. This is or Dr. Lee rather. This is a Ritter. This is a Ritter sword. So you can catch them online at I think it's ritteroutfitters.com. Just Google it. And I know that right now they just have these round blades. They're going to be doing flat blades, and I think they're going to be using. Oh, wow. They're going to be doing bell weight swords in the future too.
Ooh.
So just something to pay attention to. But thank you, Ritter, for letting us use these swords and sponsoring this episode.
Awesome sword.
Oops, I forgot to update this slide. We got Armageddon coming up June 3rd through 8th. There was something else that was coming up in the near future, wasn't there? Like a local event or something?
I don't know, man. I'm concussed. I can't remember anything.
That's fair.
So I'll be at Armageddon. Probably not going to fight.
That's fair.
I seriously doubt that I'll be fighting by Armageddon, but I'll definitely be there on Saturday, hang out. And I'll probably, if anybody wants to be on, get their fights videotaped, I'll probably videotape people's fights, because that's the closest that I can get to fighting and not fight.
I will. I'm likely going to be at Armageddon too. It's not 100%. It's more like 90%, but I'm probably going to be there. But we were just at SKBC. Let's do a quick wrap up on that. Obviously, there was a concussion. Besides that, what did you think? What was your opinion?
Oh, great event. I'll be at every one, as long as I'm sword fighting. I usually go to events and the quality. I love field battles and stuff, but the quality of my event is generally who did I get to fight in those really good fights, and SKBC is just all really good fights. There's a lot of fighting. The thing that I kind of had in my head, but I wasn't really thinking about, is that you're doing classes, right? And so there's 3 classes both days. I really like 2 both days, and then there's cards on the last day. But because it is all sparring, it is actually quite challenging physically compared to other events.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I'm still very tired, and maybe that's probably a lot of concussion. But my back is very sore. I was definitely leaning too much while I was fighting. I got a lot of really good fights in, and tons of incredible fighters there. If you want to learn how to sword fight, there's no better place to go. All of the classes had really good information. I think some of the ones that I took were probably more geared towards beginner fighters, but those were great classes. All of the information in them was fantastic. All of the ones that I took that were more advanced were absolutely fantastic. I'm actually kind of mad that I can't fight, because I have all this stuff that I want to start doing to people who weren't standing there also listening to the same thing. And I can't go do it yet. So yeah, really, really great event. Really enjoyed it. Shout out to Telfair too. Really enjoyed fighting you, and I know that you said you watched the bench with your wife, and if you're listening, awesome fights. I really had a great time, and that's what sword fighting is about. That's why we do this too, is you meet people, and people all over the country. You get to meet lots of cool people, and you learn more fighting someone in 5 minutes than you do talking to someone for an hour at a random place. So that was a fantastic event.
Thanks for the raid, Pasta Goblin. It looks like we have a raid party of 7 that's come to the chat. Yeah. Also, shout out to Keone, who's in the chat. Keone was the autocrat. He handled all the logistics for SKBC. And for those that didn't hear this announcement at SKBC, allegedly this was one of the best run SKBCs of all time. All the people, Noah, who normally has to spend his entire event running around pulling his hair out, said that he got to participate in classes and stuff because it was just so smooth. So big shout out to the SKBC Krat team for taking care of the logistics side of things.
Oh yeah, I was really impressed. Are all Amguard events run that well?
No.
No. So it's just got it.
No, this was something special. They really knocked it out of the park. So this was awesome. Yeah. I had an amazing time too. The number one complaint I heard, which is kind of for me, I'm yeah, that's awesome. the number one complaint I heard was people saying that I get on the ditch field, like, these are good fighters. They said they get on the ditch field and they're like, I feel like a little kid, like I'm just getting my ass handed to me.
Just getting whipped.
Just because the raw amount of skill at that event was crazy, you know. I had a great time. Well, besides the pollen, which again,
I was gonna say that was the number one complaint, but nobody can do anything.
Yeah, nobody could do anything. Nobody could do anything about the pollen. The pollen was nuts. It looked like 2020 because everybody was wearing masks to stop themselves from breathing it in. I had a phenomenal time. I had a great time teaching classes. The cards were really good. I didn't share this on Facebook, but I wanted to share it here. I wanted to, you know, you gotta be kind to yourself. You gotta brag about yourself sometimes. My instructor cards were the first to sell out, and as soon as they told me that, I started crying. I was like, "Oh my God, really? Thank you." So that was pretty awesome. That you know, that was a good time. You know, so that was cool. I also had a great time ditching. Had a great time sparring. Amazing event. You should go every year. So let's get into our topic. Speaking of events, we're going to be talking about Armageddon. That's what this episode is about. I'd like to welcome Crowe and Zertek. Zertek, that's kind of funny. Sorry, Techknowe. Welcome back, Techknowe. Welcome to the show, Crowe. How are you guys today?
Mobile.
Fair enough. We can't all say that.
Good.
Let's talk about our agenda for our Armageddon episode. First, we're going to ask... You know what? I normally make a big display about who's, you know, these things. For Horus, I'm going to just tone it down a little bit. Our agenda today is... Okay, I'll do it. Fine. All right. I've been given permission. We're going to say, who is Crowe and how is Tech? What is Armageddon? What is the history of Armageddon? And we're going to add in there, what is your history with Armageddon? How should I prepare for Armageddon? Rumor is there are site improvements. What are they? And tell us about the games this year. Feeling pretty good, huh? Let's do it. Let's jump into it.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start with Tech. Tech, how are things? How's life?
Life's fine, except for too many damn cars coming into my shop to have graphics put on them. We're making so many police cars right now for so many different TV shows. It's ridiculous. Last event was Beltane. I have to thank the bench for some feedback in single sword. I had a trial for War Master where I had to fight 8 individuals, 2 new fighters, 4 veterans, and then 2 peers. The first 6 had open gear, and the last 2 were single sword.
Okay.
I had 30 minutes to complete the trial. I did it in 7.5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a YouTube video. I'm pretty pleased with that. But now I get to use my spear again, and that's so rusty. But it's fine. I now have a whole lot more single stick footwork in my brain to apply to spear. So once I remember how to do that better, it's not going to be fun for rib cages. And then I got MomoCon this weekend where we're going to demo alongside AmpGuard for all the anime dorks of Atlanta.
Heck yeah.
And it's an indoor mess of just newbies everywhere. It's crazy and fun. We had about 150 people come through last year, and they're all local to Atlanta, that's why we don't do Dragon Con. We don't go to Dragon Con because everybody who comes to fight at Dragon Con is from Kentucky, Missouri, all over the planet. MomoCon is like a smaller Atlanta convention, so it's all Atlanta natives.
Okay.
So hopefully to get more High Spire citizens that way.
Nice.
Somebody take over head marshal so I could stop being head marshal of High Spires.
Great training opportunity for single sword when you're fighting a bunch of newbies. Just get out there with a single sword and tell yourself that you have to block as many of their little newbie shots as you possibly can. Mm-hmm. You'll get really good at blocking single sword real fast.
Yes.
Anything else new in your life? Anything else new Belgarth wise?
Other than these battles in this Armageddon.
Heck yeah. We'll get into that.
That's like life right now. I still got to make belts of water walking, but yeah.
Sounds good, man. That brings us to Crowe. Crowe, I got a question for you. Who are you?
Oh, I'm trying to work on that one. Let me think. No, I'm Crowe. I've been kicking around for a while. Guess going to history. I started fighting in Amp Guard in 2004 when I was in the Navy. I had a girlfriend at the time who convinced me to try this thing out. I kept telling her I'm not going out to some park with a bunch of kids dressed in funny clothes, throwing Nerf darts at each other. It's so stupid. She convinced me to go out one time. I did it one time, and I never stopped again. Like that was over 20 years ago, and I've just been going since. So I started Amp Guard. Just did that locally when I was on the East Coast, New England area when I was in the Navy. And then moved back to Illinois after I got out of the Navy. Started fighting, found an Amp Guard group in Carbondale, started fighting with them. They're like, oh, we do this other thing called Dagger here. You should check that out. I went out there, did that one time, and I'm like, oh, I'm doing this. Yeah, definitely. And then a few years later, we got a Belgarth Park set up on campus at SIU. So it was Thurret, Ruby, and I started that one up, and it's been going since then. Carthage. For a few years, I was running, like 100-person events for the Dagger Here Park that was local. Moved on from there to helping out with Ragnarok, and that was still a big thing. Did that for years, and then decided I was going to take a break from everything in 2019. Take a step back. I'm like, I need to take a break from everything. I've been running myself ragged and doing this stuff for years. I'll come back in 2020. It'll be awesome. And
Oops.
So that didn't work, but So after that, I started, kind of looking at things. I saw Ragnarok dying. Went to help them kind of like figure out what was going on with stuff. The last one they ran at Cooper's Lake, and I started talking with people as soon as I saw what was happening there, where it dropped from 1,700 people to 300 people. I started calling people. I was on the site calling Antoinette saying, "You're about to grow. Armageddon is going to grow." Mm-hmm. We had people actually leave that event to drive to Armageddon.
Oh wow!
So that was the last year I was involved in the Ragnarok stuff, was helping them shut that down, and then I got pulled in to help out with the team as things kind of exploded for Armageddon.
Heck yeah!
So, I'm here.
I'm going to take it to the chat and see if we have any questions for Crowe. I will start us off and ask you some questions. First, tell me about units. What units have you been in?
Aaron for a while when Shatterhaze was still King of Mirkwood. And other than that, I'm just a nomad. I kind of avoid joining up with units. I have friends in a lot of units. I camp with different people. I move around, but I don't have any titles. I don't have any units. I just want to be some little guy who likes to have fun.
Dame Ruby says cult of the bucket. Does that mean anything to you?
Cult of the bucket.
Okay, so that's not a unit. That's my religious order.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not a household. It's a religious order. Anybody can join. We do believe, maybe, that there is definitely, possibly, it could be a bucket out there, and this bucket has all the fucks we have to give in it. Maybe. So somewhere out there is the bucket full of fucks. We don't have it, so we're not looking for it. So we're going to dress in funny clothes and hit our friends with sticks.
Hell yeah!
That's the cult of the bucket.
Oh yeah. Tech,
you got a question for Crowe?
I have actually a story of the first time I remember meeting Stormcrow.
Yes.
I had been asked to help Gorg be part of the first Ragnarok team I was part of, and my very first distinct memory of you, Stormcrow, is the battle has been going. Crowe. You're right. I don't know why my brain put Storm in front of it. Crowe is the day when Yari walked up to you and battle was supposed to be called, and we were just letting them ditch, and Yari was losing his shit, and Yari was like, "But this needs to stop." What? And I was like, "Oh, we got to turn it off." And Yari's going, "Where's the megaphone?" And I sprint down no man's land, throwing spears up into the air. And I distinctly remember hearing Yari go, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And you going, "I don't know, but he knows what he's doing." As I sprinted down no man's land and cut the field off. And that was when the next year y'all were like, "You need a day. We need to talk."
Heck yeah.
That was like, you just, I don't fucking know, but yeah, that
Heck
was.
yeah.
And then
go
you
ahead.
vouched for me to be on the Geddon team, and lo and behold, I'm here again.
Heck
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
That's awesome. So tell us about the name Crowe. Where did you get that name from?
Well, there's not really that big of a story. Like I said, I started fighting when I was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
My last name is Crowe. So I went out fighting. I was fighting with other people who were in the Navy. Everybody, knew me by my last name, not my first name. So Crowe just came before. I didn't get to pick anything. It's just, okay, that's Crowe.
That's Crowe.
That's just
Nice.
It was that or
Wow.
Mr. Baggins, because Crowe Baggins. So I was like, nope, Crowe. Okay, got
Crowe's fine.
it. Yep.
What's your favorite weapon combo?
Ooh. To fight against or to fight with?
Fight with, like you using.
If I want to be lazy, I'll fight sword and board.
Okay.
If I want to do a lot of work, I'll probably go flow. And if it's a line fight with a lot of people, then I'm gonna go with like 8-foot pole of some kind.
Okay.
So it's situational.
What's your favorite weapon combo to fight against?
Oh, I love fighting against like spears and pole fighters.
Yeah.
I love fighting against especially my recent most favorite person to fight against is Plague.
Yeah.
Oh, Plague always pulls some shots that are just how. Last time I was at an event with Plague, literally stabbed at me, stopped, and as I moved and pulled my hand off the weapon, finished the stab into my hand right as I took hand off weapon. I was like,
I love this.
that's
Terminal points theory in spears.
This is the way.
So good. He's so good. Every event I always accuse him of bullying me because he just stabs me randomly. He'll stab me in a ditch or something. I'll be like, Plague, stop bullying me.
Plague is my secret weapon. They're so good. I love that Plague came to the Oktoberfest night fights, and then everybody's like, no, you're not allowed to fight. It's an 8-foot spear, 6-foot limit. Plague's like, oh, okay. Just runs off, comes back, 6-foot spear, ready, just starts going to town, stabbing at everyone. Like, did not skip a beat. Like, oh, 6-foot spear? Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, that's
like,
fine.
I'm ready.
No biggie. So let's talk Armageddon. So this is probably a fairly easy question for all of us to answer, but I'm gonna turn it over to Crowe and Tech to answer this one. What is Armageddon?
You want to jump on first, or?
Sure. Armageddon is a celebration of Belagarth that is for everyone. It is a almost week long. I hope it's going to be Sunday to Sunday soon. So bad, but it is the longest we get to be in our world in the year. It is long enough that we can get bored in our world rather than having everything in the world stacked up into 2 days. To have a lazy day in our world is a magical thing before we have to go back to the mundane. It's the only place you can do that.
Yeah, it's like the one event that is the Belagarth run event. So it's the actual like Belagarth board, like the full thing. It's not Like Ockfest, it's run by Numenor. This is the event. This is the Belagarth event. It's everybody's event. So
that makes sense. We'll tackle this now. I was thinking about doing it during the history, but so what was everybody's first experience with Armageddon? Crowe, let's start with you. What was your first experience of Armageddon? What was that like?
So I've got a much more recent first experience with Armageddon because I get to go to Ockfest. Mm-hmm. That was not that was the thing. But because I had ended up getting in, years ago, accidentally got into helping run Ragnarok. I showed up with the wrong person and got pulled in, and then the next thing I know, I'm well, you're staff, you can run things. So yeah, that I was always doing that, which was always around the same time. Mm-hmm. So if it was a week, and I couldn't take 2 weeks off in a row to go do one thing and then go do it again. And because, I was part of the crew running it, the choice was made. And it got really annoying sometimes, especially with, Ruby when she was running things. And I was like, I can't help you. I'm sorry. Try and see if we could work with each other on things. But, we're both going to separate events because we got roped into helping at separate events. So really my history started with talking with people as I watched, Daggerhead crumble, mm-hmm. saying, "This is, the same time frame. I would be there if I could be there, but I've been doing this thing, so I'm going to be definitely going there. I know a lot of other people are definitely going to be going there. This is about to blow up. How can I help?" Mm-hmm. And so it was the next year. It was my first time going. I ended up camping with Dragonspire because I didn't know who I was going to camp with, and I ran into Merrick. Like, oh, you camp with us? Okay, cool. So, like I said, I'm a nomad. I travel around a lot. So, camped over there, had a blast. Yeah, never looked back. So it's been, just watching it go. It's been jumping by hundreds of people every year for the last few years. So yeah. It's just growing and growing, and it's going to be amazing to see where it goes from here.
Tech, what's your first experience with Armageddon?
First experience was Armageddon 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. I, as Crowe said, Daggerhair crumbled, and the first thing I did was secure Winter War. Mm-hmm. That's my home. Winter War is almost the South's Armageddon, more or less, is what it's becoming. And then after that, I basically set my sights for a larger stage, mm-hmm. for lack of a better term, because I'd already run things at Ragnarok and was like, okay, let's go run things at Geddon. And Geddon was such a different environment because it's Midwest instead of more towards the East Coast where it was in Pennsylvania. So there's a lot more mixture of melting pots. The very first one I went to, my first Bardic competition in a long time, since I think a Ragnarok, and they enjoyed what happened, but were not sure what to do with the Mongolian throat singing. Last year I did the same thing and won. Yeah. So it was very nice to walk up and just be a monster at everybody and just mask off, as Future would say, and win an award for it. Last year I got to fight and everything because they had everything was covered as far as battles were run. Mm-hmm. This year they're asking me back for more respawns, and I'm going to try to merge the South and everybody else's culture and figure out exactly how we can have meaningful deaths that aren't single life resets. So bear with me. I'm always trying different shit.
Yeah. That's one of the big kind of like balancing acts that comes with Armageddon is because of its history of how quickly it's grown. It had a very classic culture. Mm-hmm. A lot of the single life battles, the unit battle, but when you get to a field that has 800 people on it, that one single life battle can last forever. I mean, that's huge, and you find ways to make it shorter, but still you're going through. Half the people there are going out, they get shot with an arrow right at the beginning, and now they're sitting there for 30 minutes in the sun or they're walking back to their camp, and they're like, okay, well, I'll come back later. You know.
Yeah, Geddon is a newbie Florentiner's worst nightmare.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
finding
No.
the balance between sorry, go ahead. Yeah, finding the balance between keeping that that classic culture and those fights everybody like, but also making sure that we have enough of the scenarios, the res battles, so the people that want to be able to churn through can churn through. Can't make it too much of all res battles, because then there's no penalty to dying. It's like, okay, I'll just keep running in for no reason. Some people like that, some people don't. The big thing is, every event at this size, you end up with, no matter what you do, about 20% of the people there, it's not going to be their thing. So you got to kind of make sure that you cycle through what you're doing and make sure that 20% is not the same people every time. So everybody gets their thing. Everybody gets their day. Everybody gets their time to shine and their time to have fun. And, if the next battle is not your thing, there's 4 days. We're going to be out here for hours every day for the rest of the week. So, you might have one battle where it's not your thing, but the next one we'll change it up and you'll get something fun.
Nice.
So that's what we do.
I want to take this moment for anyone that is new to the bench. I'm seeing a lot of new faces. Just ask you real quick, maybe what's the Twitch equivalent of like and subscribe to, to go ahead and like the channel if you would. Just get notifications. It really helps us out. That'd be awesome if you guys did that for us. Horus, what is your first experience with Armageddon?
Man, my first experience with Armageddon was 17 years ago.
Whoa!
It was my second major event. I don't even remember if I probably camped. It's hard to remember. I remember that I had joined the Urukai in my first year, and the Urukai kind of blew up, so it was just me and Mox in the Urukai at that event. And I was kind of like, okay, I'm definitely going to get a new unit next year. Like, I'm not going to be in the Urukai now. So that was interesting. But I think that was also the first Stonehouse Park event. Maybe I'm wrong, because no, it couldn't have been, because no, yes, it was, because the next year's Oktoberfest was also the first Stonehouse Park Oktoberfest. So yeah, I want to say that was the first one because I remember it being there. But yeah, Armageddon always was like one of, the camping event in the summer. I've had a lot of really good Armageddon experiences. It's a lot of fun. It's a good time. I've missed a lot of Armageddons because it's in June, and like June is always just like the most packed month in the Midwest. This year I can only go on Saturday because there's a wedding, and the music festival I'd normally go to is also that weekend, and so I'm just skipping that entirely, and it's Armageddon. Like, everything is on the first weekend in June.
Wow.
So that's a little brutal, but I pretty much always make it a point to go to Armageddon, especially because after I've had like many major milestones at Armageddon. I joined the road company at Armageddon in my like third year. I was at an Armageddon when I had basically like kind of not been fighting as much, and I decided to pick up my squireship at an Armageddon, and then that got me back into sword fighting. I basically almost like quit out after 5 years. And it wasn't because I didn't enjoy sword fighting, it's just because it was really hard to get to sword fighting for me. And I because I had such a good Armageddon and camped and just had a good time, I decided to totally change what I was doing, like change my schedule and just like make it a point to sword fight. So Armageddon always is a very special place in my heart. It is like the official Belgarth, event. And so it's also one that if you aren't, like, Numenor is very big, and so when you're squiring or whatever, and you need to get those, you need to get that time in working at national events. It's really easy to get a spot somewhere, to do that work at an Oktoberfest. If you have friends who are Numenorian Knights, it's really easy to find a spot to do that. And now it's a lot more open because it's just so much bigger, but Armageddon was always the place that I was trying to find people to do stuff for, be heads of things who were not Numenorians, because that's like the only major event that you could like go out there and be seen and like be acknowledged for this work that you were doing, and it's like a really great way to make a name for yourself and whatever you want to do is like run something at Armageddon. So always a fantastic event, really good event. It's so nice that we have a national event that is like the Belgarth one because of that, and now that the competing event of Ragnarok blew up because of Dagahir blowing up, Armageddon is just like, it's the event. Like I used to, Oktoberfest was always the one that like if you told people to go to Belgarth, you go to Oktoberfest. That's still like always my favorite because from Numenor and doing that. But Armageddon is like the event. Like if you're gonna fight at Belgarth, you're probably going to Armageddon, especially now with the night pits where you can fight at night, because that's the other part of Armageddon that always kind of sucked, is that it's so hot in June in Indiana or Illinois or whatever it was. Like, so now that it's you can fight at night too, I think that makes it's so good.
Big time.
That's one of my favorite parts about Armageddon. I'm from Atlanta. It's not hot up there.
Oh yeah. That's true.
My first Armageddon was 2 years ago. Also, that was also my introduction to Belgarth. As you know, I've been going to local Belgarth stuff for a while, but Bell, I was at Known World War, which is actually happening right now. Known World War is happening as we speak. And I was at Known World War, and Bell says to me, he says, "Hey, you should go to Armageddon," and I was like, man, dude, Belgarth dudes, they're just a bunch of guys with tower shields and flails that knock you over. And he said, yeah, it's changed a lot, man. I think you'd really like it. And I was like, well, okay, I trust you. I'll check it out. It's pretty close. I'll check it out. And it was Friday night. They were doing some kind of gala or something like that. Does that sound? Do you remember that? There was like some kind of party, like speakers and music and people all dressed up and shit.
Yeah, it was a fairy ball.
Yeah, it was the fairy ball. Yeah, you weren't there. So I remember being there and just seeing everybody dressed to the nines and having a great time and all the great fighting I had, and I started crying. I just like tears running down my face, and I went and I hid because I didn't want to see this. I didn't want to see people, people see me crying. I was crying, and I felt like I had a 30-year marriage with somebody, Amtgard, and I felt like I was falling in love with someone else, which was Belgarth, and I was just like, I love this. This is my new thing. I love this more, and it was Armageddon that really pushed me to become a, it was like, that was when I kind of decided I wanted to be a Belgarth. Like it was time to switch.
Yeah, that especially at Billy Creek, that site has got some magic to it.
It's so good. It really is.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's when I first met you.
I think so.
At that Armageddon.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually really got to talk until what was it, Equinox or whatever, in the fighting pits there.
Yeah.
The night fight tent thing.
Because I would have said Equinox. That's when I remember. But you like when we talked at Equinox, you were like, oh hey, and I'm like, yes, I guess. I met so many people at Armageddon. It was like, I don't remember anything. But
our first conversation, Tanny, was me offering you a random raw potato.
Really?
Yeah. It's the best way to meet someone.
Interesting. I don't remember that either. I don't remember that
potato?
Either.
You were in the middle of fighting. I was sitting on the sidelines. You went, potato? You're like, no. They just randomly produced a raw potato and then walked off.
No, we talked about this before the show. I'm over 3 concussions deep, so I don't remember all this stuff.
Oh, I just got to mine. Third one.
Well, for me, the reason that I remember for sure that's when I first started into use, because I came from, like I said, Amtgard, and then when I discovered Dag Bell, I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
So every time I run into somebody who is an Amtgard person at their first Bell thing, I'm like, I hope you love this as much as I do.
I vaguely remember that now.
Because it was life changing for me too.
Yeah. It was, and I'd had experiences with Belgarth 10 years or so prior, and it was like I described. It was like, big corn-fed boys with tower shields and flails. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's all it was,
It was like that. There was a time.
Let's talk And I don't know, Horus, I think we're leaning on hopefully you to be the voice here for this. What is the history of Armageddon? If anybody knows, how did it start?
Okay. I mean, I don't 100% know like what the exact history was, but like it was definitely created on purpose to compete with Ragnarok after the split.
Okay.
Like the idea was to have the Belgarth version of Rag, and like it definitely up until Dagahir imploded of its own volition, it never really competed.
Mm-hmm.
I always just thought of it as like, it's another event in the summer, but if you were going to go to a big event, you went to Rag. Like, I went to Rag for 3 years straight when I was like really going crazy, and the only reason I started going to Geddon instead is that I just didn't want to drive 8 hours, and like, I was like that's just a lot, and I didn't always have time to do that, so I just take the vacation for this instead because there's a lot less driving. But that is the history of Geddon. So it's always been the national event of Belgarth. It's the only one that Belgarth officially throws. Is there an official event in the West? There might also be there might be one, or there might have been one, but I know that Geddon is the Belgarth official event, and it was specifically created to compete with Ragnarok, and in my opinion, never really did. It always just was like an and also, until Dag blew up, and then it became the summer event of like Dag Bell because nobody was going to Rag, so everybody started going to Geddon.
It took 20-something years, but man, that plan finally paid off. I'll say this to anyone about anything, but like if you don't agree with someone and like things aren't working out, just go be the best you can be, because like you never know what's going to happen, and like if you want to be better than some old fighter too, like eventually they'll just get old. Like eventually you'll be better than them anyways. Just keep at it, and like I think that's the best possible way that Geddon could become big, is that everybody just found a thing to replace it because they were losing something they like doing anyways. And now we have a really awesome, like amazing site. I absolutely love Billy Creek. Yeah. It's run really well. Everybody who runs Geddon does a great job. It just gets better and better every year. I'm excited to go this year, and I can't fight. Like I can't tell you, I am never excited to go to events that I can't fight. Like, so I'm still looking to go and have a good time. So that is the history as far as I know it, though, is just that it was the competitor, and it never really competed up until there was now competition because nobody's going to the other one. Crowe and Tech, feel free if you have anything to add on the history of Geddon. If not, that's totally okay. That was pretty solid.
I mean, I know for like kind of recent history, it's personally been kind of funny for me because I went from running fights at an event where I was, there were enough people that were annoyed with me because I was running things too much Belgarth like. He's a Bell guy. But then running around and stuff in Illinois, they're like, "Oh, he's one of those Dag guys." And really, I started an Amp Guard, and I've tried to make this like I was trying with Ragnarok as cross game friendly as possible. I want it's a place where people can come in. Yes, we have the rule set. This is the rule set, but there's so many things that are so similar that it's very easy to make that adjustment and make everybody comfortable and happy. That it's in the middle of the country. You've got people coming in. You've got Darkon fighters coming in. You've got Hearthlight fighters coming in. You've got Amtgard fighters coming in. You got people that still do Dag coming in. I'm sure there's some Nero people showing up. I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. I know a few people that do DR that come in. I mean, it's a place where everybody can kind of have fun. We're gonna make sure that you have a good time, and let's go. Let's have a fun time, everybody.
So let's say it's my first Armageddon, right? And let's say maybe I've been to a couple events, or you know what, and it might not be that different from any other event. So let's say that I've never been to an event. That might be a better use case here. How should I prepare for going to Armageddon? It's my first event. Never been to an event before. I've never been to a long event before. How should I prepare?
Okay.
Jump in. Jump in. Anyone.
Step 1, sunblock.
Yeah.
Step 2, make sure you either have enough garb to survive the time,
Mhm.
or have mastered the art of showering in your garb, hanging it up to dry, and wearing the clean garb.
Mhm.
Like 2 sets of garb will get you through. You wear one into the shower every night. You wash that while it's on you. Take it off.
Mhm.
Wash you. Hang it on your line to dry, and wear your fresh.
That's brilliant. I've
This
never
is
heard
the
of this
secrets.
before. I've never
You
heard of this.
understand? That's the way.
Like,
Look at now I'm old and I have multiple sets of garb and I can make more garb and have money and stuff. But back in the day, you have one set of garb. You gotta figure it out. So
I just smelled bad.
secret.
oh yeah,
You can do that too, but don't do that.
For people who don't have anybody, like a unit they're coming with or friends they're coming with, there is camp set up to help people. You can come in, you can camp there. They'll help you out with getting your camp set up, help you out with meeting people, get you introduced to everything, and you won't be just alone in the woods trying to make friends or whatever. They have systems set up to help bring you in and get you a group of people to camp with and work with and learn from. So that's something that's good to have. If you are going to be coming, you don't have a lot of garb, there are groups that the Rangers have a garb closet where they take donations of people's old garb they don't wear anymore, and you can go over and they will give you that. You can go through there and you can pull out, get yourself some garb. So if you're a new person and you need some garb, there are people that have stuff that they I've got stuff that I haven't worn in 15 years, that I throw stuff in there all the time. It's still got life in it. I don't wear it anymore. So somebody will get use out of it. Yeah, so you can look around, ask people, or look around. There are people that are trying to help out new people all over the place. So things to know is, although it is going to be warm, make sure water, sunscreen, make sure you take care of yourself. Don't forget to bring a good blanket, because it can get cold at night, especially if you get sunburned during the day and it drops down, and then you'll be shivering all night long, and you try and get up the next day and you're not gonna be able to move because you're especially if you're old like me.
last thing is figure out your food. Either A, what can you eat the same thing of all week, or B, when are you going to find time to cook, or C, you have enough money just to go buy food every day from the vendors. If you got it like that, you got it like that. But personally, whenever I used to feed myself, I would just make turkey wraps that were tortillas, cream cheese, spinach, and honey turkey. And I'd make 20 of them and just put them in the cooler, and then have random snack foods and chips to supplement. And because when I'm in fighting mood, I just need something that goes into fuel. And
that's even fancier than I used to go.
Now I have a friend that runs
Kanza. I used to just do the Kanza. I'd go out and I'd get the Kanza Chef Boyardee. I wouldn't even heat them up on a fire or anything. Just crack them open and go. I'm like, okay, there's calories. I'm fueled. I've got. All right, go back out there.
Acid reflux, heartburn.
Yeah.
Oof. Yep.
Yep. It's a side effect of being able to vomit at will.
Pouches, I haven't had to do the camping thing in a minute, but pouches of applesauce is a great Geddon or great event food, because then it's, and I like the Chef Boyardee idea too, but something that you can just you could just do without having to have utensils or anything, and then throw in the trash. It's all there, it's all done. Your hands are caked in mud, you're filthy and dirty. You could just suck the applesauce down and go. I think not planning for food is a horrible mistake, because it's not just that you have to eat. You're going to be burning a crazy amount of calories, crazy amount, so you need to be replacing those, or you're gonna get physically ill and shut down.
And what a lot of new fighters don't think about is if they've gone to a weekend event and like you said, you're burning a crazy amount of calories, but you're burning more, and there's more people to fight, so you're probably going to fight a lot longer than you think, especially with there being a night ditch field. So, yep.
If you're coming with people, one thing that I remember, it became a problem that year that I camped with Dragonspire, because I brought my camp setup. And one of the things that I started doing a long time ago was making sure I always had a first aid kit with me and a fire extinguisher with me whenever I was camping. And I had to leave early, so I left. I ended up leaving Friday night, and I guess that night they started a fire in their camp, and they were running around looking for my fire extinguisher, and I'd already left. So,
oh no!
If you have somebody camping with you, that check around, make sure you got the basic safety stuff covered. If you got a first aid kit, that's awesome. Fire extinguisher is good to have. Just to make sure you're covered. The last thing you want is to have all your stuff go up in a flame because some drunk fell over a campfire and lit your tent on fire.
Speaking of drunk fellows, if you're somebody that likes to party, make sure you have booze. This is a mistake that I have made many times going to different events, is like I just don't think about it, and then it's like Friday or Saturday night and everybody's hanging out and I'm like, shit, I don't have any booze. I kind of want to have a beer or something like that, If you're underage, don't plan on drinking. I know it's real easy for adults to say that, and you guys are sitting here going, I'm gonna do it anyway. You'll get in a lot of trouble for that, and you don't want to be like banned from coming to events or something because you're drinking underage or something along those lines. Make sure your weapons and shield and everything is all topped off and fixed, and if it's got if it's street legal and it's got some life in it, fix it, because you've got days and days of fighting that's going to blow out. And they check weapons for amp guarders that are not used to this. They check weapons every day. They make sure that they're checking weapons. They will throw you off the field and get you in trouble if you're using weapons that aren't checked.
Oh yeah, if I see you on the field with a weapon that hasn't been checked, no, gone. But this year they're actually helping out even more. Weapons check is going to be doing a supplemental check at night before night fighting starts.
Oh yeah.
And those checks they're having set up to carry through the next day. So if you show up during the day, you can get your stuff checked for night, go to the night fighting, and except for the stuff, projectiles and things that need to be done, there won't be projectiles in the night fighting field. Those get checked every day. But there's going to be a check, so you can get your blues checked at night or in the morning. So there's multiple chances. You got a new thing and you want to try it out in the night fighting field, there's a check for it, and then it's checked for the next morning.
I love that. So, that's amazing.
That's something awesome. That EQ and Beltane and Winter War is going to start doing it next year, I believe, but EQ and Beltane they do a roaming blue and board check. Like, you just got a couple blues and a board, cool, and they go to the different places. And I think Geddon could really do that better because there's a lot of flat land and a lot of ground to run a track on, and every campsite is accessible from like that road, and you could just drive a golf cart around and do that, and get a lot of that out of the way. Sure, not everybody's going to be awake for it, but those people that are awake are going to be like, you mean I can get my weapons checked while I'm having breakfast and not leave camp? Hell yes. And they will bring you breakfast. I've had people bring me breakfast for checking their weapons that early in the morning and making them not have to walk all the way up to the line of checkers. So it's something that works and people love it.
Atlas 1291 says their hack is to bring electrolyte powder to add in their water when they're fighting. Really good for preventing cramps. I'm not a doctor, so this is not medical advice, but I'm a big fan of electrolyte powder and that kind of stuff to keep you going. It works really, really well.
I thought you were just supposed to do lines of that.
Well, again, I'm not a doctor, so I can neither advise you or
each his own.
Disadvise you from doing that.
So the question: does pickled relish count the same as pickles, or do you actually
pickled relish?
I eat a bunch of hot dogs with relish. That's
for everything.
No. Pickles are good. There'll be people. They'll have a medic tent on the side. There's going to be a cool down area where you can go and you can cool off during the day. There are people that are going to be providing stuff like if you're dehydrated, get a pickle, get some water, get some electrolytes in you. So there are a lot of people that are willing to help out there. So it's good people, good time. You really, really have to try not to take care of yourself to not take care of yourself at this event.
For instance, last Geddon, I was taking a shower at around 3 a.m. and I walked outside, looked up, and there are no clouds in the sky. And again, I'm from Atlanta. I miss the stars. So I plopped down in the middle of the field and just laid there. A security team came up and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm from Atlanta. I don't get to see stars." And I heard just a stargazer, and they wandered off.
Hell yeah.
It was magical. They left me the hell alone.
But that's really
Great.
cool. They checked on you. That's pretty cool.
Definitely join the stargazing in the middle of the field. It is one of the best parts of that event site. It's very, very good. Also, speaking of showers, the showers are actually nice. Remember to bring soap. Remember to bring that stuff. Like, if you don't bring enough food, somebody will probably just give you food. Like, you can buy more food from vendors. Somebody probably has sunblock if you forget sunblock, but don't forget sunblock. But if you forget soap, somebody might have soap, but how are you going to get it? Nobody's walking around like, "You want some soap?" Like, that happens with food, that happens with sunblock, that doesn't happen with soap. Bring soap.
Dame Ruby.
Anything that
finish?
touches your nuts.
Yeah.
Dame Ruby has a good point. Remember
Yeah.
your medicines. I will also say that security stops outside of camp. They hail camp and they're like, "Med reminder," and they just walk off and they just yell it randomly. It's nice. It's a couple of people in my camp are like, "Oh yeah, you're right."
Yeah.
And a couple of people in my camp are like, "You're right."
I'm going to move us on so that we have enough time to talk about the last topic, because I know that's the real big one. But rumor is there's been some site improvements this year. I'd love to hear about those.
Sorry, I just raised my eyebrows and I realized I'm wearing sunglasses.
I could double check to see what exactly has 100%.
What are the
been
site
confirmed.
improvements?
I heard a rumor.
So I know. Well, yes. So first off, I don't know where it's at right now. I'm trying to double check. The night fighting field is being expanded.
Yeah.
Another row of lights, spaced out as far as the two. You know how there's the 4 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
So that's being doubled in size. They're adding that in. There's another area that has been opened up for camping that has an actual paved road going to it. They're doing improvements to shower facilities and bathroom facilities. They're just constantly building that site up. So there's a lot, but I think the big thing that people are going to be excited about is there's new camping areas, and they're expanding out that night fighting field.
Yeah, the night fighting was starting to get a little cramped just because there's so many people doing it. For you amp guarders out there, it feels like an old school, like late 2000s ditch. It's so good. It's so good.
That's
Ditch all day. Ditch all day.
Yep.
the like Ragnarok night fights in like 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. Like, those were so good, and this is like recreating that. It's the same.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
vibe. It's amazing.
You're right. Like the ones that were on like the lower field with the lights on.
Yep. Yeah.
Outside the bathroom
That was
in
amazing.
the site. Yeah, those are really good. I remember those. That's where Aiden killed somebody with a flip flop.
Oh yeah.
I remember Go ahead.
There was so much fighting about trying to get the night fights back down there and trying to move them around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but you know, the actual saddest thing about the whole death there
Mm-hmm.
was that last year when there were only 300 people that showed up and the event was like, okay, it's dead. The site had put in stadium lighting on the main battlefield for night fighting.
No way.
Oh.
You could have just done. Oh my god.
That sucks.
I mean, it's still the
That's
site
crazy.
where they do. I mean,
Pennsic.
it's not just it's Pennsic
Yeah.
site, so it wasn't for that event necessarily, but it was something that event would have had access to if it kept going. So
Bummer.
that would have
That's
been
wild.
that would have been awesome. But yeah, so but you know what we've got here is they're
Still
building up to
there.
that. They've got that eye
Yep.
in the sky. It's actually there's no generator running the whole time. You have that at a lot of events with night fighting. You know, you get that
Mhm.
either generator going or something. No, this is actually wired in. They're setting it up, so this is built into the infrastructure of the site. It's a beautiful thing.
It's gorgeous. I remember last year, somebody had bought a rapier, like a green only rapier, and I think I was trying to
yeah.
I was trying to get as many kills as I possibly could with it, and I was up to like
Getting people with
I
it.
was so far. I was up to 50 something. It was wild. All right, we have arrived at the main event here. Let's talk about the games this year at Geddon. I want to leave this up to y'all how to structure this. Crowe, do you want to give an overview of the games, and then Tech, do you want to? You're Friday night, right? Tech, are you Friday night or Saturday? Or
No, I'm
Friday?
Saturday.
You're Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, Saturday.
Do you want to go first and do a Saturday deep dive, and then Crowe gives an overview, or revert? What order do you want to do?
I'll do a quick overview of what's coming up, and then we can finish off with the deep dive into the main event, the Saturday Super Day, when everybody's there and everybody gets to have a lot of fun.
Sounds like a plan, man.
So fighting's going to be moved back. We were told last year to try out a different thing to see if we can make it work with moving around schedule. We had that weird late day start into very late in the day. That's gone now. It's going from noon to 5 again. So weapon check ends at noon. Get the fight. The fights are starting right there. So Tuesday is no fighting. Wednesday, Thursday, you're going to have your basic start for the first hour and a half, where we start balancing things out. We're going to be doing the single life battle, stuff like that. See how that's rolling. As that rolls on, you're moving into 3 different basic scenarios. Those 2 days, each one is going to have a resource battle, a fort assault battle, and then a terrain battle. So the resource battles are basically their resource points to try and capture or take to win or to force the other team to lose. Fortress battles, fortress assaults, where you have a defend point and attack point on a fortress, and teams take turns doing their defending and attacking. Pretty basic there. Terrain battles are more open, where there's just a terrain for people to fight in, so there's a little bit more than just that thing at the end of the day. And then that rolls into your Evermore ditches at the end of the day as people leave off, because they're, you can end the official fighting, but you're going to have people that want to keep fighting, and they'll keep going. So that's what we'll have on Tuesday, Wednesday. I've got Thursday. Oh, no, not Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday is going to be run by Dame Ruby and Fumbles, and have a list from them. If I can get it open here. Maybe I can get
While
it
you're
open.
looking for that list,
There it is.
while you're looking for that list, I literally just got a message from an Amp-Guard friend of mine. He's like, "Hey, I think I'm going to Armageddon this year." So we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see some Amp-Guarders start showing up en masse potentially. So I think Geddon is going to be growing even more.
It's that Ragnarok track. It becomes the largest cross gaming event in the country.
Yeah, even if you don't play Bell, why would you not go? Could there be 1,500 there? Why would you not go?
Sick.
So, all right. So what I've got here, what we're looking at, basic overview of what we should see on Friday is starting off with pickup battles, of course. Moving into most likely 4 corners, realm battles, unit battles, line fights reorganized. Going to be a King of the Hill battle. Then there's Blood Bowl / Aztec football, which looks like it's going to be fun.
Do you have any details on that? Do you know what that is? If not, that's fine.
I have been given a very basic overview. I'm pretty sure that I know what this game is, but I'm not going to put it out there because I don't 100% know that this is exactly what he's talking about.
That's fair.
There's also, apparently on this list is maybe a pylon battle. I don't know. We might sneak in a pylon battle for those who know it.
Okay.
I love pylon battles. They're so good.
Awesome. Well,
and then Saturday, the big day.
Techknowe Pop, let's talk Saturday.
One day I'll teach you how to say my name right.
Well, how do I say it? No, then teach me now. How do I say it right? All right, here we go.
Nope. Not that sound. Nope.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Study some linguistics. You have too many glottal stops. So you said you had the maps to put up.
I
The maps
do.
also have the rules on them.
Okay.
Uh,
Ew.
Yeah.
the
Do
maps
they?
you're seeing are made directly on the Geddon site to scale. If anybody wants those blanks, just reach out to me and I can send them to you. It's literally a Google map of the field, and I put them into Roll20. I will be printing these out and in vinyl and sticking them random locations on Friday night and Saturday, so you can just read these as well at your own leisure. And all the rules you need to play are on the map. So
the two maps you gave me, I don't see any text on them. They just have like, they just.
Oh, I did not know that was the case. Hold on. Can I send these to you somewhere? If you go to the Armageddon Facebook page, I've posted them there as well. But I can also send them to you in Messenger.
Let's see. I can try to
Sorry
pull
about
them up. No, it's fine.
Yeah. Those aren't the final maps.
Oh, these aren't the final ones. Okay.
No, those are drafts. My absolute apologies.
No, we're all good. We're all good.
Crowe probably messed it up.
Well, tell us. So,
Okay.
so this first one that has like a rock texture to it.
The triangle one is first.
The
one
triangle
looks like a triangle. Yep, the one looks like a triangle. That's the first map we're going to use for 2 games. Let me pull up the Facebook so I can access it myself. And bloop. Aha, here we go. All right. So the first game we're going to play is Squids in the Lagoon.
Okay.
Sending that map to you right now.
Okay. Let me see if I can.
There's Squids in the Lagoon.
All right. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Mm-hmm.
Real on here. Nope, that's not it. Nope. So stand by. Okay, I gotta find.
It's great.
Let's see. I gotta find. Let's see. There. Nope. Stand by. I'm working on the fly here. Nobody said anything. I'm waiting for the comments. The what was it? Thursday tech problem comments to happen. I'm working on the fly
Speaking of
here.
which, if anybody knows the camera guy from SKBC with the sick camera,
Yeah, I
where
do.
those videos get posted, you do. I want to see it. There may or may not have been cool things that I did capture on video that I would like to see if they made it on video.
Taz, I'm gonna go ahead and send you all 4 real quick in order. To
Okay.
chat.
Okay.
To Facebook chat.
Oh, I might not be able to show these.
You should be able to download them from Facebook.
I can. Yes, I can definitely do that. The question is getting them on the screen. You know what? I bet I can. Hold on. I'll just. You know what? We'll do this. All right. Let me download this here.
Gamer has battles.
So the person that had that amazing camera at SKBC, that's Justin Baker, aka Hades. I've known him for like 20 years. So like, yeah, I can definitely get that stuff for you. All right, here's the first one. All right. I got the first one up for you to check out.
I also realized I could share my screen. I could have just done it myself the whole time.
Clickety clack.
Clickety clack. All right, tell us about this first one.
All right, so Squids in the Lagoon. It is 3-bridge team deathmatch, except there are monsters in the water that don't like you. Literally, there will be a squid parent and little squid tentacles, and they're all spearmen, and they can run through the water and don't care. They also, when they take damage, they don't take wounds, they take hit points, so they are killable. Water rules will be as normal. No armor in the water. Helmets count as armor. Sorry, not sorry. Got to be simple about it. And knee walking or shuffling. My marshals are there as safety and they'll tell you if you're passing the speed limit. Slow it down. The water can be entered from anywhere on the map, but it can only be exited from distinct points that are beside each bridge. You cannot exit the water from the middle. We'll have that designated with cones, and literally when you die, your marshal will just click, and at the end of 15 minutes, whoever has the most deaths loses, and we'll play that 3 times in 15-minute rounds with a quick reset in between to do team balance if somebody gets blown out of the water, / throw the new fighters that are coming in from weapons check ending onto the other team or coming back from lunch onto the losing team, and keep it rolling.
Okay.
The only time that I really want to try team balance to move like this group to that side is if the score is just blown out of the water.
Mhm.
That's literally, the score is just there to keep everything kind of even and a good fight. You can fight to the outsides of the bridges, and you can fight on the bridges. Either one, I don't care. There'll be plenty of room outside to go ditch and flank, and that's the whole battle.
Awesome. Okay. And then I'm gonna clear this out and then load up the second one real quick. Here we go.
Same map.
Yes. You can keep talking. Start talking about it now, and then we'll look at it.
Same map, same objective of kill them more than they kill you. But this time there'll be golems on either side of the team. The golems are invincible and do double red damage because people hate black damage. Mm-hmm. Periodically, marshals will drop coins in the middle of no man's land where the battle is really heated. The coins have specific rules for them. If you check the box up there and look in there, you can see what the rules are for the coins. If I remember correctly, 1 free hand and walking pace. But I'm not looking at the map right now. Rules are there for you to read. Get 3 coins to the golem. The golem destroys one bridge, just goes marching down one bridge, swinging double red. Depends on how long I talk to the golems as to how long they think they can swing for. But we're probably going to give each different round. The golems will have a different weapon set. They'll have like 2 swords to start with, and then I'll give them a spear, and then I'll give them a red. Just different things to kind of mix it up between the rounds. But die less than the other team and use the golems to decimate the other team. They will only be active for a certain amount of time. They'll return to their spawn point. They'll have a cooldown. If you get 3 more coins to them, they'll reactivate and go destroy things. That's easy peasy.
Nice. Okay.
The only things that will be weird on the field, I will have belts of water walking. Those are just going to be pieces of brightly marked striped fun noodle that you can elastically put around you. Printed on them will be player may ignore all water rules. Player may not respawn with belt of water walking. Simple as that. Interact with it if you want to or not. Rules are printed on it. I'll have little vinyl stickers that I'm putting on everything, so it's really easy. Just a little bit of spiciness, so there will be fighters that can run around in the water like the squids can. Not a whole lot, maybe 3 to 5 per side, but you can't respawn with it, so somebody gets it different every time.
I love that. I love how you can like basically bribe the monster to like, all right, go destroy the other team. Right. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna load up number 3. Here we go. Stand by. Number
3 should be Ring of Boom. That is a basic payload battle inside of a canyon. The only thing is that there are 2 doors to each canyon on either side, and you can't go in there. And the ring takes 8 free hands to move. And people try to overcomplicate things. When I say 8 free hands, I don't care if the arm is stabbed. That's a hand on it. I don't care if it's 8 people and they all have 1 hand and every single one of them is using a single sword or a single shield. That doesn't matter. 8 free hands moves the ring at a walking pace. If the ring is struck with a melee weapon, everybody dies. I'll have a marshal that's literally going to run in and start yelling boom, possibly with a fun noodle, and just laying about with the fun noodle, killing people whenever it blows up.
That's
just everywhere. Get the ring to the opposite side to score a point.
Wild. Okay.
3 15-minute rounds.
So if the other team's about to score, you can bop the ring and like reset everything to make sure they don't score. Okay, that's
the ring. The ring does not reset location. It just blows up and drops where it's at.
Okay.
Yeah, so it doesn't reset to the middle. The movement stays. It just kills everybody right there, and the ring drops. So your team can pick it up if they want, but whoever bopped the ring is also dead. So how much of your team are you willing to sacrifice to stop that push forward?
Or if you're about to score and if they're overrunning you, you can bop the ring, everybody dies, and you have a shorter amount of time to walk.
Yeah, especially if you have a team behind you. Like, you could set up a 2-stage assault where one team takes the ring in, the ring explodes, the next team comes in behind them. And again, on the outsides of the field, there are places where you can just fuck off and ditch.
Hell yeah. All right. Now
the last one I'm really excited about, and I hope we get to it. We'll see. This one's Wheels That Go Vroom. Same map as the other one, except inside the center are going to be the coins from the Golem battle. These coins are gears that is necessary for you to capture. There's a capture point, 2 capture points for each team outside. If you're looking at the map, the red and the white are spawn points. There's, again, the key is in the upper right-hand corner. My intention is that you can just look at the map and understand the game, period, and play it and not dive to the terrain. But in Wheels That Go Vroom, you're trying to cap the center gold, or the resource to your cap point, but you can only carry 1 at a walking pace if it's in 1 free hand. If you put 2 free hands on it and yell vroom vroom, you can run.
Okay.
You cap it, and at 5 points, the marshal will bank those 5, and they'll return to the center. But until there's 5 in there, the other team can steal them.
Okay.
So it's active as long as there is, like, you want to try to get 5, so you can bank that 5 points and keep rolling. I may trim that down to 3 because we are doing 3 15-minute rounds, and 5 might be a lot. It depends on exactly how much people want to go vroom vroom.
Yeah.
Because if you dedicate a line to guarding and then people to grabbing them and running away and using the 2 hands, you got choices. And again, the fuck off and ditch areas now have an objective in the middle that you have to guard, so there's a reason to ditch over there now.
Yeah.
I'm putting a little bit of obstacle stuff in your ditching, but you deal with it. It's fine. But I'm trying. The spawns in those battles. I'm sorry, that was the most important part. In the I can't remember. Hold on, let me pull up my maps real quick and check. The spawns are different in that battle. That's where we're going to try to do. So I have this theory that the reason people like the single life battles is because the FOMO, the fear of missing out on the rest of the battle, kind of gears you up and gives you that adrenaline rush. You only have 1 life. Your life means something. So in the last 2 battles, let's see. Here's my map. All right. In the first canyon battle, in the ring, you will spawn in waves. Your marshal will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spawn, and they will spawn you in waves so that you have to wait at the spawn point some. Okay. So this creates that fear of missing out and that watching. Like, in Amp-Guard really made me feel this whenever I started playing Amp-Guard more and I had a 60-second death count. Sitting there and watching my mistake play out on the field gave me the exact same feeling as being on Ragnarok and running towards somebody and getting shot with an arrow because I didn't pay attention to the archer, and now being useless because I'm dead for the rest of the battle. So we've got that wave function. We'll see how fast that works. And then for the next battle, we're going to have a 30-second death timer.
Cool. Okay.
My spawn marshals are there to make sure you're not counting too fast. That's hey, slow down. And I have spawn marshals in every battle. My spawn marshals are not just there to stand there. They are trained to look for heat exhaustion, to look for why you're angry, to be like, hey, did somebody slough you, or are you just having a bad day, bro? You need to talk about it real quick. Like, they are on the up and up. I 100% give credit to Skunky Pop, who started doing that 1 year at Winter War, and people bought her a meal because she was so happy as a spawn marshal. So
heck yeah.
I'm trying to get this whole marshals are scenery out of everybody's head. We're not scenery. Marshals are class. It's a class you're playing. Like, did you marshal today? You played Belagarth. Good job.
Nice.
Like, my main class is marshal. My secondary class is spearman.
Heck yeah. So we got, yeah, I'm going to take it to chat, see if there's any questions from chat. I have a quick question about Geddon. I know some Belgarth events, they optionally allow what we call cheater chain. Can we wear cheater chain at Geddon, or is that a no-go?
So this is the Belgarth event that is run by Belgarth as a whole. It is by the book.
Okay. No cheater chain for this one.
It's going to
Uh,
be by the book. So
Correct.
Bring it to Winterwall. I don't care.
no Meduse either. um, let's see. And as far as, let me see, my second question would be, night fighting, is that going to follow the same rules as last year with 6 foot maximum, no armor, no projectiles?
So as far as I know, so one of the things that Armageddon does is night fighting has its own team that runs that.
Okay.
So we're on the day. Night fighting is a night. I believe from the last I saw in the chat that is 100% the plan is to keep that the same, and they're adding in a weapons check beforehand so they can make sure that people have safe checked weapons for night fighting, because half the people there are going to be doing more fighting at night than during the day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's more
There are a
my
lot of
thing.
people that come just for the ditch field.
Whoosh says that the length of them was nice. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damon says, is Tanith making a 4/7 team for tournaments? What's a 4/7 team?
4 horsemen or 7 deadly
Oh.
sins, I think.
Got it. Is Tanith making... we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I might be on a 4 horseman team. It's possible. I really enjoyed it last year. Glenn, I'm telling you, buddy. Glenn says night fighting with length restrictions and no projectiles is making me look and see how far it is from here to Geddon.
So good.
Dude, night fighting, I'm telling you, man. Night fighting at Geddon, it feels like mid-2000s Amp-Guard. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. Fantastic. I want to do a quick shout-out or a quick PSA to people. If you're drunk, don't get on the ditch field.
No.
Don't. Do not. There was somebody that was absolutely shit-faced who tried to get on the ditch field last year. It was not okay. We got him quickly thrown off of there. Don't do it, man. You're putting all of our safety in jeopardy.
Yeah. Also, it is still Belga. Somebody will hunt you for sport.
Yep. 100%.
Don't do that.
This is not one of those. It's not going to be one of those little night fight things where there's like 10 people cycling through in a line. It's ditch fighting. It is
Yep.
It is going to be going. It's not the place to do your beer and teens. Don't.
Much like in tournament fighting, where everybody's going hard and like that, like you go in a tournament and everybody's like the gloves are off. Like you're in the tournament, you're getting the full throttle. Like night fighting is the full throttle. If you show up drunk and you are sloughing and you're being dangerous, like people are gonna fuck you up, and they're not gonna do it against the rules, but like you're just gonna get beat up and have a bad time, and you're gonna develop a bad reputation really fast. Like just don't do it. You're gonna get hurt. People are gonna know that you're doing unsafe stuff. Like just don't.
Crowe, Tech.
Multiple
go
people
ahead.
from the event staff that are camped right next to the night fighting field.
Mhm.
So if there are problems going on over there, if you are a problem over there, event staff is going to be there the entire time. So don't be a problem.
Amish Ninja has a great point. They say that fighting drunk seems like a great way to get mega dehydrated as well. 100% true. It's not a good idea, especially with that heat.
Good way to end up in an ambulance, and
Yep.
then you got to pay for that. Don't do it.
Crowe and Tech, any last words on Geddon?
It's gonna be awesome to see everybody. It's definitely like it's that feeling of going home. Like I've been, like out in the world doing my stuff, but like finally getting a chance to visit home when I get to see all my friends from around the country and everything. It's I can't describe it. It's the best time of the year. Come hit me with a stick.
Tech, you're on mute, buddy. Still on mute.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Let's see.
Yes.
Hey!
Broke the jack. about
All right.
2 minutes ago, so I had to reset myself.
Ooh.
Everything Crowe said. Plus, it's the most fun I could have with my pants on. And I hope Saturday night is the smallest night fighting field at Armageddon, because that means I did my job during the day.
Fizzball. We didn't talk about fizzball.
You're correct.
Wait, is there going to be fizzball? Just like, is fizzball a thing outside of Bellegarth?
No, I don't know.
Fizzball is the most glorious, like, insane game ever. I'm not even sure anybody actually... In the Amir, there's a saying. Whenever we sit down to play a game, everybody says this. This was started by Cyrek. Hats off to him. It's hilarious. But whenever you explain the rules to the game, you say the point of the game is to win. And I am not sure that I agree with this. Sometimes I think that games, the point is to just play the game because I'm not sure anybody's winning. And Fizzball is one of those games that I'm not sure anybody cares about winning. It's just super fun. I'm still not even 100% sure of the rules, but the main thing that you do is you play baseball with beer cans, full beer cans. So, like, somebody has a baseball bat, and then there's a pitcher, and they throw the full beer can, and then they hit the beer can with the baseball bat, and you get, I believe you get points if you split it completely in half, or if you split a piece off of it, and then if you bust it open, you hit it, and then I don't remember the rules from there because it's just very fun and crazy.
As possibly the official sound effects for Fizzball, because I joined in last year with my didgeridoo, and apparently that just has to be a thing now. The rules are slowly evolving. They're thinking about pulling in rules for strikes and bad pitches.
Whoa.
The other rule is if you strike out, you have to chug the beer.
Yes.
That is the rule. Like, if you strike out, you must chug the beer. Points are awarded for how many splits it has, but we're thinking about, or the association, the Fizzball League official league, is considering adding pitching rules and perhaps forcing the pitcher to drink if they suck. But yeah.
Also, like, if you hit once you hit the beer can, as long as it opened and it's spraying in some way, you keep running the bases.
Yes, that is called a fizzer. Yeah, if you nick it, it's kind of like a foul tip. If you nick it and it's fizzing, you have to get it back to the pitcher as fast as possible. That's when I start playing the fucking dun 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 dun.
Don't they have to drink it?
You have to drink it if you strike out.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I already know the answer to this, but I don't drink. I still want to play. Can I play if I don't drink alcohol?
Yeah, bring seltzer water. It's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Heck
It's also a very pretty game.
Yeah.
Like,
It
watching the beer cans and, like, just aluminum cans explode is really cool. Also, I've never seen cooler pictures of any game than Fizzball. Like, the spray everywhere as somebody hits something. Oh my god. Fizzball.
Last year at Geddon, I had this, like, couldn't have been more than 9-year-old kid pull up, whip out a folding chair, sit down like somebody's grandpa, and start just talking about Fizzball. Like this was this kid's life somehow. He had a team he was rooting for. He wanted me to know who his dad was. I don't know who the hell that was. I wasn't paying attention. I don't have crotch goblins for a reason. Very well-behaved child, though. Definitely at least a 54-year-old man inside of a 9-year-old body, though.
Amazing.
Whoosh wants to know what day.
Just for those.
Go ahead.
I was about to say Thursday from
Oh, yeah.
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Second annual Armageddon Fizzball Classic. So that's going on. That's going on Thursday.
Glenn, that sounds like a new tournament that you can win. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm gonna
be there or be square because you won't be around.
I'm gonna put in chat link to the. Hopefully that works out. That Google Doc is like the most comprehensive schedule of what's going on at Armageddon.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the rules to Fizzball.
No, that is the list of all the classes that are going on. There are classes.
Oh, yeah.
There are different meetings. There's a right after Fizzball is the Pride Party. At the same time as night fighting. So night fighters are going to have a dance party going on right next door. You're going to have some fun music to fight to. Yeah.
Oh,
You got the return of the boss battles. You're gonna have fun boss battles out there. If anybody doesn't know what those are a blast. You want to check those out.
For those of you not familiar with my heralding style, I have a timer. There is no such thing as Belagarth time whenever I run battles. I run them on time. When I say 15 minutes, I mean 15 minutes. I dedicate myself to being there when I say.
Okay.
If I say 5 minutes water break, that's exactly what I mean. And I will have a megaphone and give you updates on the time. It used to be this much cigar, which was about 5 minutes, but I don't smoke cigars anymore, so I can't judge it by ye old Belagarth standard time of tobacco. But I try to give everybody enough time to chief 2 cigarettes if they really want to.
Heck yeah. I want to thank.
I mean that.
Crowe, Tech, I want to thank you guys for coming on the bench. Really appreciate you, letting us know about Geddon this year. I'm looking forward to being there. I was going to do Friday and Saturday. Man, now I'm kind of thinking about Thursday because I don't want to miss Fistball. See if I can make it happen. Thank you so much.
The kitten says you must come.
See you later, guys.
Yep. Thank
So the question is, Horus, what's next?
What's next?
Yeah, we have 2 options here. It depends on how which one works out. I'm talking with Peter the Quick about doing a show about lane theory. Maybe 2 shows about lane theory because there's so much. So I thought we could do a deep dive on that. I'm also looking at doing a single sword episode. And I'm talking with Tato about that. Tato might be one of our guests for that as well. So we're not. I think it's going to be, because in exactly 2 weeks, I think it is going to be Armageddon, right? So
yes.
So it's going to be, our next show is going to be 3 weeks from now. Really quick, something that was forgot to mention: there is an archery tournament on Friday at Geddon from 4 to 6 that Misty's running. We want to make sure to mention that.
I'm sad I'm going to miss that too, because that sounds really cool.
Dr. Lee asked if we're going to do a live show at Armageddon. I don't know if I'm going to do that, just because it's a lot to, I put together a kit to do a live show. It's a lot. I'm going to be there by myself. I'm not going to have my partner's not going to be there with me, so I'm not going to have I'm not gonna have somebody I could boss around to help me do things and kind of put it together. Horus is also not going to be there till Saturday, so probably going to pass on a live show this year.
I actually just can't do a show on Thursday. I'm going to be driving to Chicago on Thursday night.
Yeah, so I don't think we're going to do a live show again. I think we're just going to do the show, the following week, unfortunately. But it's either going to be probably either lane theory or single sword. Depending on who works out, and if whatever show we do, we'll the next one after that will probably be the other one. So it's pretty exciting stuff. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. We almost didn't do it.
What are we doing?
Arm cam.
Oh, arm cam. I love it.
We forgot the arm cam.
So good.
Thank you so much for watching The Bench. This show is brought to you by Ritter Outfitters. Really appreciate you guys checking us out. We'll check you out. We'll talk to you next time. We'll see you at Geddon. And remember, be yourself. Don't hide. See you next time.
See ya.